Commission. I call this meeting to the Michigan Independent Citizen Commission to order at 5:05. This webinar is being live streamed on YouTube for public watching who would prefer to watch different platform than they are currently using. Please visit our social media at Redistricting Michigan to find the link to view on YouTube. Our live stream today includes closed captioning. Closed captioning, ASL interpretation, and Spanish, Bengali, and Arabic translation services will be provided for effective participation in this meeting. Email us at redistricting@michigan.gov for additional viewing options or details on accessing language translation services for this meeting. People with disabilities needing other specific accommodations should also contact redistricting@michigan.gov. For purposes of the public record, this meeting is being recorded and will be available at www.michigan.gov/MICRC. I'll repeat it, www.michigan.gov/MICRC for viewing at a later date. This meeting is also being transcribed, and those transcriptions will be made available and posted on michigan.gov/MICRC, along with written public comment submissions. There's also a public comment portal that may be accessed by visiting same website, www.michigan.gov/MICRC. This portal can be utilized to post maps and comments, which can be viewed by both the commission and the public. Members of the media who have questions before, during, or after the meeting should direct those questions to Edward Woods III, our Communications and Outreach Director for the Commission. He can be reached at woodse3@michigan.gov. And for purposes of the public watching and the public record, I will now turn to the Michigan Department of State staff who will take note of the commissioners present.
Good evening, commissioners. Please stay present when I call your name. If you are attending the meeting remotely, please announce during roll call that you are attending the meeting remotely. And unless your absence is due to military duty, please announce your physical location by stating the county, city, township, or village, and the state from which you are attending the meeting remotely. I will start with Doug Clark.
Present.
Juanita Curry.
Present.
Anthony Eid.
Present.
Brittney Klum.
Present.
Rhonda Lang. Steve Lett.
Present.
Cynthia Orton. MC Rothhorn.
Present.
Rebecca Zatella.
Present.
Janice Follett.
Present.
Aaron Wagner. Richard Weiss.
Present.
Dustin Witches.
Present.
10 commissioners are present and there is a quorum.
Thank you, Michigan Department of State staff. Without objection, I would now like to move to our welcome and introductions. Hearing none, we'll have our welcome and introductions. Hello again, my name is Commissioner Brittney Klum. Welcome to the MICRC public hearing in Detroit at TCF. We're happy that you're here to learn about Michigan's new redistricting process and how you can engage throughout this process to ensure your voice is heard. In looking at the agenda, please note that the vast majority of our time this evening is spent listening to you. We are eager to hear your ideas, either in person or remotely, about drawing Michigan's congressional, House, and Senate districts. In addition to hearing about district lines, we also want to hear your ideas about communities of interest. At this time, I would like my fellow colleagues to introduce themselves and share where they live in Michigan, the Great Lakes state. I'm going to start to the top row to the right. So we'll start with Commissioner Curry and then go this way.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Juanita Curry and I reside in Detroit, Michigan.
Good evening. Welcome to the TCF Center and our commission meeting. We're glad you're here and look forward to hearing from you. My name is Steve Lett, and I come from the Traverse City area, specifically Interlaken. So that makes me the Northern Commissioner, not the Southeast Commissioner.
Good evening. Thanks everyone for coming. My name is Dustin Witches. I currently reside in Ypsilanti, Michigan, and I look forward to hearing what all of you fine folks have to say.
Good evening. Thank you for coming. My name is Richard H. Weiss. I live in Saginaw Township in Saginaw, Michigan.
Welcome, everyone. My name is Janice Follett. I come from Highland. We're all anxious to hear what you have to say. Thank you.
Hello, Detroit. My name's MC. I'm from Lansing, Michigan.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Rebecca Zatella, and I am from Wayne County, Michigan. I'm very excited to be here tonight and hear what you have to say.
Hello, everyone. My name is Anthony Eade. Thank you so much for being with us today. We look forward to hearing what each of you have to say about your communities. I'm from Orchard Lake, Michigan.
Good evening. My name is Douglas Clark, and I'm from Rochester Hills, Michigan. And it's a pleasure to have all of you here this evening.
For the third time, my name is Brittney Klum. I am born and raised from the city of Detroit, and it's an honor to be in my city to talk to you a little bit about the redistricting process, as well as hear from all of you beautiful people. So I can't wait. I was so happy to be here. So thank you again for being here, and let's continue on. So in 2018, oh, thank you. Thank you. In 2018, more than 61% of Michigan voters intentionally and deliberately passed Proposal 2, a ballot initiative for voters and not legislators to take responsibility for map fairness and public feedback in the redistricting process, and created the Michigan Independent Citizens Redistricting Commission, or the MICRC. For the first time in Michigan's history, the MICRC, the redistricting process to draw a fair, comprise 13 randomly selected Michigan residents that includes 4 who affiliate as Democrats, 5 who affiliate as independents, and 4 who affiliate as Republicans through a lottery run by the Michigan Department of State. The MICRC has the exclusive authority in this new redistricting process for Michigan's congressional, House, and Senate districts. As fellow residents, the MICRC understands your expectations to draw maps in an open and transparent manner that meets constitutional mandates. Our mission and vision exemplifies our resolve not just for today, but for generations as well. In your interaction with the MICRC and its staff, you should witness the core values of integrity, respect, transparency, and being purposeful. Once again, we're so happy that you're here, and we look forward to hearing from you. At this time, moving along in our agenda, we'll learn a little bit more about the public hearing. Coming to us to talk about the purpose of the public hearing is Vice Chair and Commissioner Rebecca Zatella.
Thank you and good evening, everyone. As Commissioner Klum indicated, my name is Rebecca Zatella, and I serve as the Vice Chairperson of the Michigan Independent Citizens Redistricting Commission. To ensure fair and impartial maps, the MICRC is required to solicit public input before drawing any redistricting plan for the Michigan congressional, House, and Senate districts through a minimum of 10 public hearings across the state. We're actually doing 16 hearings. Detroit represents number 12 of our 16 public hearings. Per the Michigan Constitution, the purposes of the public hearings are to inform the public about the redistricting process, to share the purpose and responsibilities of the commission, to solicit information from you about the potential redistricting plans for Michigan's congressional, House, and Senate districts. So what is redistricting? Every 10 years following the US Census, district lines for US congressional, state House, and the state Senate must be redrawn in states across the country to accurately reflect their populations. The process of drawing district lines is known as redistricting. In Michigan, here are the district lines that need to be drawn for the 2022 election cycle. The first data from the 2020 census shows that the state population as of April 1, 2020 was 10,077,331 persons. That means that our Michigan congressional districts will number 13 with approximately 775,200 people per district. Our Michigan Senate districts will have 38 districts with approximately 265,200 people. And the Michigan House will have 110 districts with approximately 91,600 people. The MICRC is the sole entity responsible for drawing district lines. The MICRC operates in an impartial and transparent manner that instills integrity in the redistricting process. The MICRC public outreach represents fairness, awareness, transparency, and engagement that seeks to obtain at least 10,000 unique public comments in the redistricting process. The MICRC must adopt maps for Michigan's 13 congressional, 38 Senate, and 110 House districts. The districts should be drawn to meet the applicable federal and state laws, including the Voters' Rights Act. As mandated by the mandated by the US Constitution, equal population refers to the amount of people in the district. That is our first redistricting criteria, is equal population in compliance with the Voting Rights Act. Secondly, the districts must be geographically contiguous. Third, we have to take into consideration communities of interest, which include arts districts, neighborhoods, business, agricultural, educational, and waterfront communities, and so much more. Although race is important, it is not the only characteristic to identify a community of interest. In addition to considering the first three categories, we also need to not give a disproportionate advantage to any political party and to not disfavor or favor any incumbent elected official or candidate. We have to reflect consideration of city, county, and township boundaries. And lastly, we are tasked with keeping the districts reasonably compact. So just to touch again a little bit on what a community of interest is. A community of interest may include, but is not limited to, populations that share cultural or historic characteristics, economic interests, but it does not include political parties, incumbents, or political candidates. So what does the MICRC want to know about your community of interest? We would love to know what name you would give to your community. What is the common bond that creates your community's shared identity? Is there a geographic area that defines your community? What governmental policies are important to your community? How would keeping your community intact enhance the quality of your representation in Congress or in the Michigan legislature? And lastly, are there nearby areas that either strengthen or potentially weaken your community of interest? So why is the MICRC here? We are here to hear directly from you about where to draw the lines for Michigan's congressional, House, and Senate districts in Detroit and throughout the state of Michigan. This is a historic process. For the first time ever, Michigan residents have a say in the redistricting process. Openness, transparency, and public engagement represent the principles of this new redistricting process. As the third-ranked criteria in the redistricting process, communities of interest have a voice to prevent gerrymandering. Thank you, and I will pass it back to Commissioner Kellum.
Thank you, Commissioner Zatella. Without objection, our General Counsel will now provide a presentation. Hearing no objection, please proceed, General Counsel Pastula, with our public comment guidelines.
Thank you very much, Madam Chair. My name is Julian Pastula. I'm the General Counsel to the Commission, and thank you very much for being here tonight and for the warm welcome in Detroit. It's nice to be home. This evening, I'd like to cover the public comment guidelines with you. In-person public comments will take place first, followed by remote public comments. The time limit for each public comment speaker is 2 minutes. You will hear an audible alarm when your time has expired. If any person disrupts the orderly progress of this meeting or refuses to comply with applicable MICRC guidelines and rules, the chairperson may rule that person out of order and/or order their removal from this meeting. As the chair has indicated, please provide your public comment and or submit proposed maps in our public comment portal available at www.michigan.gov/MICRC. Thank you, and the commission is looking forward to hearing from you this evening.
Thank you so much, General, for providing those public guidelines. You all bear with me. We have to hold down the mic. So if I go out, it's because my thumb isn't doing what I needed to do. So without objection, we will now begin the public comment portion of our meeting. Hearing no objection, we'll now proceed with public comment. Individuals who have signed up and indicated that they would like to provide in-person public commentary to the commission will now be allowed to do so. Please step to the nearest microphone when I call your number. You will have 2 minutes to address the commission. Conclude your remarks when your 2 minutes has ended and you hear the timer. I also believe that the timer will be displayed on one of the screens that you see to help you keep track. Again, if you get stopped by the timer or you hear my voice because your allotted 2 minutes has ended, or if you're sitting in the audience and you're not providing public commentary, but there's something that comes to you, please do utilize our public comment tool and include your comments in writing. Include the thoughts that you're thinking about in any specific area of the map that you might mention. That public comment tool can be found at michigan.gov/MICRC. I'm gonna call about 4 of you up at a time. You don't have to feel that you have to stand one behind the other. Again, we have 2 mics, but just to keep the flow going and to keep us all active and engaged. So I'm gonna call 1, 2, 3, and 4. 1, 2, 3, and 4. 1, when you approach the mic and you're ready to speak, you can begin addressing the commission.
Okay, thank you. I'm John Lackney. I live in Plymouth Township, which is represented by the state Senate and House 20th District. This district is blocked out with Plymouth City and Township, Northville City and Township, and a small slice of Canton Township. The 20th District is a rich multicultural district that is very involved in cultural celebration and life events. We're very proud of that, although these events and the uniqueness of our community. We also have some of the best preschool and grade 12 through grade 12 educational institutions in the state. District 20 shares charity and fundraising events for the less fortunate with the Lions Clubs, Elks Clubs, Rotary Clubs, JCs, VFW, many of our local businesses, senior programs, United Way, and veterans programs. We are a giving community which is rich in history, with also a strong senior and veterans demographic providing unneeded services for both. We also share, which is very unique, we're proud of Hines State Park, which folks around here in Detroit, we're a western suburb, has appreciated this. Actually, my front yard is Hines Park bike paths, the ponds and the woods and the trails. It's a lot of fun that many people come in from Detroit and from around the state to appreciate. We have an established health systems within our 20th District that represents both the physical and mental health aspects, needs of our community, which is more dire now than ever, given what we've all come out of. We have also, what's very good is that we have an established state police post within the 20th District that supports law enforcement. And with our fire police and EMT services, we do cross border in the townships and the cities when needed, for obvious reasons. It is very important, we believe, and I'll map this out on your site. The map will go on the site that we keep this blocked. And you won't be familiar north of Warren Road and Canton all the way through the township and cities of Northville and Plymouth. I want to thank you for this opportunity. This is very historic, and I really appreciate you putting yourselves out there. This is a tough job, and it's historic. I hope you're having a lot of fun. Thank you.
Thank you. We hope that we continue to have as much fun as we're already having in this challenging process. So thank you for sharing your comments with the commission. 2.
Hello there. I'm Hassan Takbe. I'm from the Bangladeshi community. In 2015, Governor Snyder came and opened Bangla Town. In 2017, Mike Duggan open Bangla Town welcome sign in Hamtramck, Detroit area. This is a culmination of Detroit City Immigration Task Force. They have designated Bangla Town as the destination community. Many studies showed that in order to add flavor to Detroit, you need some destination community like Bangla Town, similar to Mexican Town and Greek Town, if you remember. Total population in that area, Detroit, Hamtramck, we're looking at about 25,000 residents. We also have Bangladeshi members are in Warren and the city of Sterling Heights. So what I would like to ask the commission, if you could keep Bangla Town, which is between Detroit and Hamtramck, the same for the state representative district, also for the state senate and for the congressional district, if you could merge Detroit and Hamtramck with the city of Warren and Sterling Heights, that would be very desirable. As you can tell, the community is growing. We are bringing our asset into revitalization of the city, and this would help us grow even further. I also like to thank you for holding this commission. And I must say, I have heard you today in the NPR this morning. So good job. Thank you.
Thank you so much, and thank you for taking the time to address the commission. 3.
Good evening, Honorable Commission and the Michigander. I am Mohammed Kamrul Hassan. I am representing Bangladeshi community. I am Bangladeshi American. And I am representing our Bangla Town. I've been council member city of Hamtramck from 2009. I've been a state rep candidate from 2012. So I'm requesting this commission to keep the legislature district as it is, what we have right now, District 4. As Bangladeshi, Hamtramck and Detroit, 25,000 to 30,000 people live this area. Again, I'm requesting a state senate district and the congressional district. Can we cross the boundary, county boundary, and keep the Hamtramck part of Detroit at Warren and Sterling Heights? And there is another 20,000 Bangladeshi population live there. Sterling Heights, Warren, Hamtramck, Detroit, we have over 30,000 border Bangladeshi American, can make a big difference in Michigan. And we need our voice heard, and we need our presentation. Thank you.
Thank you, Muhammad, for taking the time to address the commission this evening. 4.
Good evening. My name is Jaheem from the city of Hamtramck. As a few of the people that passed me said, keep the state rep seat as is for the congressional district and the Senate, state Senate district, combine them with Warren, Sterling Heights, Detroit, and Hamtramck. The city of Hamtramck and part of Detroit, the houses and real estate went up. Many, many businesses have moved in and opened. So please, we ask the commission to combine Sterling Heights, the city of Warren, Hamtramck, and Detroit. God bless you and God bless America.
Thank you for taking the time to address the commission. 5, 6, 7, and 8. And if we can be sure to utilize this microphone over here, that way we're glad that they're cleaning the microphones, but there can continue to be some conversation in the room. So number 5, if you're ready to speak, you can address the commission.
Sure. Good evening to the commission. Thank you all very much. I welcome you to Detroit, my hometown. My name is Angela Wilson, and I'm blessed to work for the Eastside Community Network, which actually serves the community that I live in. This is a map of our LEAP district. I'm going to talk more about that in a second. I'm going to say our basic ask is that the LEAP district stay intact in all of the voting districts that you're looking at, and that the city of Detroit continue to have 2 congressional representatives. The LEAP district is the result of a planning process that started in 2009 to address all of the vacant land from housing demolitions in our community on the east side. Over the last 10 years, we have been supporting this coalition of partners that make up the LEAP coalition with grants to develop projects like community gardens, rain gardens, bioswales, playground improvements. And in 2019, we launched the LEAP Sustainability Fellowship to continue developing ourselves and our community as a sustainable community. The LEAP district you will see is roughly bounded south of City Airport to the river, and on the east end, Alta Road, and the west end is roughly Mount Elliott. And I will be submitting the full map on your website. I am a resident of the LEAP district. I am a steering committee for the Goodstock community, whose map is on my shirt. I'll send that one to you, which is inside of the LEAP district. And I'm a member of the Burns Seneca Fisher Block Club. Our common interests relate specifically to supporting redevelopment in our own communities, and that redevelopment is led by residents. That's what this whole LEAP process has been about. We asked again that the LEAP district remain intact in all voting districts, and that the city of Detroit have 2 congressional representatives. I thank you for your time, and I also thank you all for representing us in the way that you are as commissioners in drawing these districts. Thank you very much.
Thank you so for addressing the commission. Again, visit the public comment portal and use that tool at michigan.gov/MICRC. If you're holding a map like our last commenter was, and you want to give that to us today, you can approach the table and give us any map or information about the specific area that you're speaking about, just in case you didn't think you could. You can actually engage with us. So sorry, 6 for that long intro. You have the floor.
Thank you. Good evening. My name is Loreta, Detroit, Michigan. I live in the Goodstock community near Wayne Community College District. The LEAP district is the Eastside Community Network, a nonprofit organization. It stands for Lower Eastside Action Plan. We believe that our neighborhood should stay in the LEAP district and it should be kept intact. I am concerned about our local government blight, increased health issues, government, and safety. Our neighborhood should remain with the 2 congressional districts, which include LEAP. They can draw the district boundaries to include the Lower East Side Action Plan. Thank you.
Thank you so much for taking the time to address the commission. 7.
Good evening. Brenda Butler here, coal miner's daughter. I reside in Detroit in the 100-year-old neighborhood of Chandler Park. Commissioners, this evening, we come before you to ask that the redistricting process continue to include our current congressional districts. Our neighborhood borders the Etzel Ford Freeway, east and west, over to the Detroit River. Our greatest asset in our community is our Chandler Park. Our Chandler Park hosts for visitors and residents alike a golf course, the Wayne County Water Park. Our Chandler Park Conservancy oversees and puts together our outdoor sports in our Chandler Park. And in our park, our newest assets will be a skating park and a community garden. We also have included in our neighborhood an organization which came together with an agreement with us to create Kid Success. And that organization is called Brilliant Detroit. Our Chandler Park Community Hub will be opening soon. So commissioners, our electoral voter issues and concerns. Is that it?
Finish your sentence.
Is
and
that
then
the bell I
that's it.
hear?
Yes, that's
Okay.
the bell.
All right, so my partner will finish up. Thank you.
Taking the time to address the commission.
Hello. My name is Patricia Reed, and I live in the Chandler Park neighborhood. I've been a resident there for over 47 years. And what I would like the commission to do is keep the 2 congressional districts and the LEAP district intact. Thank you.
Thank you so much. 9, 10, 11, and 12. 9, 10, 11, and 12. 9, if you are at the mic and you're ready to speak, you can begin.
Hi, everyone. My name is Rochelle Dublay. I live in Plymouth Township in Wayne County. My community of interest is living in Plymouth Township. I also frequently visit the city of Plymouth as well as Northville Township and the city of Northville. I like the small town feel of all 4 cities, as well as the open spaces and the many parks that those cities have. I also like that there's a lot of local businesses and restaurants that my family and I frequent. And I also love that my kids and their friends can hang out in Kellogg Park and downtown Northville and just have fun and be safe because there is low crime in all 4 cities. I also love the Summers Farmers Market that we frequent weekly and the Catholic churches that my family goes to. My family and I go to OLGC, which is Good Counsel in Plymouth Township. And my family and I have also participated in the PB&J outreach, which is where a group of us make peanut butter and jelly sandwiches and give it to the homeless on Saturdays. I love the feeling of community in Plymouth and Northville. I love that I'm getting to know my neighbors and the residents there. So I'm asking the commission to please keep all 4 cities intact in Wayne County together, and then do not split them due to 8 Mile. I'm also asking to keep the commission to keep the map lines as square and not like jigsaw puzzle pieces. Thank you, the commissioners, for taking the time to listen to my public comment.
Thank you for taking the time to address the commission. 10.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Pam Weinstein, and I live in the Rosedale Park neighborhood, one of the 5 Grandmont Rosedale neighborhoods in Northwest Detroit. As an early supporter of Proposal 2, I'm just so delighted to see you all seated up there. This is like a dream come true. This is great. I'm here today to urge you to recognize the Grandmont Rosedale neighborhoods as a community of interest and to keep us together in your new redistricting plans. Our 5 neighborhoods of over 5,800 households were all built about 100 years ago. Several of us have celebrated our 100th anniversary in our neighborhood associations. And we've been working together, collaborating and cooperating closely for almost all of that time. We came together in the late 1980s and formed our own neighborhood nonprofit community development organization, Grandmont Rosedale Development Corporation, GRDC. And the purpose of that organization was to renovate dilapidated housing and commercial properties in our area, as well as sponsoring beautification and safety programs, a farmer's market, and a community garden. We're especially concerned about not being divided from each other because that's precisely what is operating at present. We are currently represented by 2 different Wayne County commissioners and 2 different state representatives. Why is that? Our area is home to several major thoroughfares, which map makers apparently like to use as convenient dividing lines. The Southfield Freeway and Finkel or 5 Mile are both big roads or freeways that cut right through the middle of our neighborhood, and they've been used in apportioning our state representatives and our county commissioners. Please make sure you don't divide us from each other. Thank you very much, commissioners.
Thank you for taking the time to address 11.
Thank you, commissioners, and we appreciate very much the process that you're going through. My name is Daniel Butry. I'm a resident and citizen of Hamtramck, and I represent the Detroit Hamtramck Coalition for Advancing Healthy Environments. And we have a map for you of our community of interest. It includes the city of Hamtramck, also in Detroit, the city airport neighborhood, the Farnsworth, Milwaukee Junction, and East Poletown neighborhoods. And these areas are very ethnically diverse. We have African-American, Middle Eastern, South Asian, Polish, and all kinds of other folks. We also have a lot of poverty in our area. We have a lot of vibrant community organizations, and many of those organizations reach across lines between Detroit and Hamtramck. We have a lot of vitality in those organizations. One of the problems that we all share, though, is that we have a lot of heavy industry. And in fact, a big part of our area has been called an industrial sacrifice zone and is home to all kinds of industrial sites, including dealing with things like toxic waste. And so we've got people that live within walking distance, a short walk of these heavy industries. And as a result, we have many people with negative health outcomes. I myself moved to Detroit about 20 years ago, and or Hamtramck, and one of the things that happened to me is I developed asthma. And so this is very, very common in our area. And so we're concerned that we see our common cultural identity held, but also the struggle for bringing justice and addressing the community needs, especially for health concerns and dealing with how we relate with our industry, which provides good jobs, but they also need to be accountable to the community. I've got a map. Thank you very much.
Thank you for taking the time to address the commission. 12.
My name is Nancy Brigham. I moved to Yorkshire Avenue in Detroit 38 years ago because the homes are gorgeous and I wanted to live in a racially integrated neighborhood. After my husband and I moved in, our 6-block wide area organized into East English Village. We have a newsletter, elected leadership, committees, and monthly meetings. That helped us overcome the harsh years that followed. When unemployment soared and Detroit housing values plunged in the 1980s, city taxes stayed high, and banks were handing out mortgages they knew people couldn't afford. That created a wave of foreclosures and vacated homes. But with mutual support, we made it past those hard years, and we were later voted the best neighborhood in Detroit. The communities next to us faced similar problems, Morningside and Cornerstone, and we want to be united with them because we work together. We founded the Mecca Development Corporation, and one of our most exciting projects is to bring small businesses and a farmer's market into the East Warren commercial strip that we all share. And long after movies theaters moved out of most cities, we have been restoring the historic Alger Theater for a cultural event. We have a public library, gardens, we have a historic Caju Cafe that we all share, and the revamped Baldeck Park. We also have links to the Grosse Points to the south and Jefferson Chalmers in Detroit. And my neighbors will give you maps showing how we'd like to be together with them as well. But we've been very badly served by past redistricting. Each of our 3 neighborhoods was split into separate state house districts, making it hard to get attention to our needs. And the gerrymandered 14th congressional district gave us a rep who had the impossible task of serving pieces of dozens of communities stretching all the way to Pontiac. Commissioners, we desperately need shared representation closer to home. We need compact districts that unite rather than divide us, and that help our representatives learn from our community and serve its citizens.
Thank you for taking the time to address the commission. 13, 14, 15, and 16.
Hi, my name is Pam Rickelman. I live in the city of Detroit, Wayne County. So the city of Detroit is my community of interest. I'd like to see more defined and square border lines, no crazy shapes when considerations are made for redistricting. Adhere to municipal boundaries, keeping municipalities intact wherever possible. Thank you all for the time that you're giving to this commission. It's very important, and what you're doing for the residents of Michigan. Thank you.
Thank you for addressing the commission, and we appreciate your gratitude that you extended towards us. 14. If 14 isn't present, we'll move to 15.
Good evening. My name is Larry Ling, and I live in Birmingham. Thank you so much for your sacrifice and time you're putting into this effort. It's truly worthy and necessary. I'm not speaking on behalf of any community of interest. I think more just on for the population of Michigan as a whole, and I'm very much echoing the last commenter's comments that if anything, I'd like to make your challenge maybe a little more challenging by saying, I hope you can give yourself a goal to have those geometric shapes that are very similar. Maybe say, whether it's a congressional district, a state senate, state house district, try and keep them, limit the number of corners to 4, ideally, would be rectangular shape, corner being where it intersects with another district, or with a state line, Michigan, Wisconsin state line, or with one of our Great Lakes. If you can minimize those numbers, I think it would give everyone a great deal of confidence that it's not a gerrymandered district. It's a certain shape and size and consistency. And the other challenge in terms of districting mapping would be perhaps to give another goal for yourself to not have a certain ratio of length to width or something like that, just so they don't give the appearance that they've been somehow manipulated to serve a particular group of interest. So I don't pretend to have the answers to how you would do that. It's a big challenge you're all signed up for. I really appreciate your doing it. And thanks for giving us the opportunity to speak tonight.
We appreciate your comments. And if you think that you have an answer, please submit it in our public comment tool, michigan.gov/MICRC. 16.
Good evening, commissioners. Thank you very much for listening to us today. Because of you guys, I think we have a real shot this time to put our voice into drawing the maps. My name is Shuman Kobir. I'm from Bangladesh. I work with a community-based organization, Bangladeshi Association of Michigan, which is a non-profit organization. So I live in Warren, which is 11 Mile and Bryan. All of you from Detroit pretty much well familiar with the neighborhood. I'm from Bangladesh. I'm a part of a growing Bangladeshi community. I used to live in Hamtramck, as a lot of people are doing. I moved further north to the extended Bangladeshi community, all the way to Sterling Heights. We are around, a lot of people give some numbers, how many Bangladeshi people live around here. I work with a community-based organization, so I can give you a rough number. We are working on a thing to count down headwise how many people we are there. We are around 90,000 people living from Hamtramck to all the way to Sterling Heights. So I am here to ask all of you guys today to put us in one particular map. I am not separating Senate, representation, Congress, state rep, or House. If we are one similar interest community and we want to be at one map, please and thank you. Thank you very much, everyone listening to me today. Thank you very much. Have a good one.
Thank you, and thank you for being a voice of the Bangladesh community. 17, 18, 19, and 20. (17, 18, 19, and 20). 17, when you reach the microphone, you can begin speaking. Do we have 17? If 17 isn't present, we'll move to 18. 17 and 18 are hiding together. We'll move to 19.
Well, good early evening, commissioners. My name is Vincent Martin.
I'm sorry, I don't mean to stop you. I see 18, so I'm gonna have 18 go, and then we'll have you.
Thank you. Hello, Commissioner. My name is Dalwar Ansar. I live in Warren City between Mount and Ryan, south of 11 mile. I'm a Bangladeshi origin American citizen. With Bangladeshi origin community, most of us lives in Hamtramck, Detroit, Warren, Troy, Sterling Heights. Our geographic map starting from north of I-94 freeway to all the way 18 miles, which main road, Dequinder, Ryan, Mount, Van Dyke. We are around 100,000 Bangladeshi lives in Michigan. We share same culture, we share same economic interest. But unfortunately, when it comes to vote, we split out into 4 house districts. That way, our voting power was diluted in every recent election. As we are minority here, I think it is against Voting Rights Act 1965, Section 2. Section 2 mandates that electoral district line cannot be drawn in such a manner as to improperly dilute minorities' voting power. So please, being all of us under one district, like House, Senate, and all of 3 of them, please, in your website, I will send a map so you can get a more idea about our geographic district. Thank you so much. Thanks a lot.
Thank you for taking the time to address the commission. 19.
Good evening, Commissioner. My name is Vincent Martin. I switched with number 28. I took 19 because she wanted to speak in unison with someone else. So just let you know, just to be transparent. I come to here to speak on the redistricting process. One of the requests I would like is have this process be put under the lens of redlining and also under the lens of systemic racism, because the Black voice nationally is being stymied. So the Republicans have utilized this to stymie our voice also in the recent years. So hopefully this is a chance for us to get some equity in this actual endeavor, because without equity, then what's the sense of us voting? That's how Black people are being utilized now. The Democratic Party comes to us every year, requests us to vote for them, but then they don't give us, nothing. Just to talk real talk. We have a lot of people here talking about, I come from 4217, the most polluted zip code in the city, in the state, with the highest absence rate, child mortality, you name it, we got it. But we don't get no resources. Why? Because of the color of our skin. There's other district in Kalamazoo, they had a river that had an oil spill because they had benzene. Their area was evacuated and cleaned up because of the privilege. My area get benzene every day, but we're sacrificed. That's what this districting means to us. Chance that equal the level of field. So please do the job, but please put equity there. We don't need diversity because the root of diversity is to divide. We need equity. Thank you.
Thank you so much for comments and passion with the commission. 20.
Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, whatever time zone that we'll be watching from. Thank you so much. I had to incorporate everybody that sees us. Thank you so much for coming today and representing us and all my fellow neighbors and neighborhoods. I am Denise Robinson. I grew up in Detroit, born and raised on Mack and Canfield. I'm a graduate of Finney High School 1977, okay, erase that part, but but I want to speak to you on keeping Detroit Northeast together, but we do not identify with the Harper Woods and the Points. And some of my stats come from my Finney High School person, Carol Banks. I don't want to not mention her, and I'm looking at my time. Okay, in Detroit 48214, the current population is 13,565. 89% is African American. The schools are 98.1 there. The unemployment is 9.3. The median household is 29,000. That's saying that we do not identify with the Harper Woods and the Grosse Points. We have different needs. Our needs are way different. We have 4 houses that's on a block. What can we do? What can we do? We have the plants that's producing asthma for us. Our kids running up and down. And I'm watching my time so I won't get buzzed. We do not, thank you, Madam Chair. But we want to stay together, but do not put the Detroit East Side together with the Harper Woods and the Points. Our needs are very different. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Denise, for your commission. 21, 22, 23, and 24. Again, we can utilize both mics if it's convenient.
Hello, everyone. My name is Tamara Rice. I am representing the Grand Mount Rosedale area as well as the 13th Congressional District. And the way that the district is now divided, it looks like a puzzle piece. It includes Westland and places west of Garden City, and I don't believe that should be included because the needs in my area do not reflect the needs of those areas. Housing is definitely an issue in my area, and I feel that we need to include all of Dearborn, so it's more squared off. I hear a lot in my community because I work in the community where families are really struggling for employment as well as basic needs. We need to be funneling money into places that can assist the families because we are suffering. I implore you guys to please not use the maps that have already been drawn, but go from scratch and really look and take into account everything that has been shared here today. You guys have a very important job, and you can really, this is a chance for us really to support families and the community in a way that's equitable. Thank you for your time.
Thank you so much for taking the time to come out and address the commission. 22.
Good afternoon. My name is Elias Gutierrez, representing this Latino. I'm part of the Latino community, and I'm here to ask to you draw the district that keep our Latino community together. This is the only way for our concern to be heard in Lansing and Washington, D.C. Thank you very much for your job.
Thank you, Mr. Gutierrez, for coming to address the commission. 22, no, 23. 23, you're 23, right? Okay, making sure I have the number right.
Good evening and thank you, MICRC, for all you do. My name is Cheryl Denman and I'm from Grosse Pointe Park in Wayne County, Michigan. My community of interest is the place in which I live, work, and enjoy, which is the geographical area within the Grosse Pointe Public School System. The community of interest includes Harper Woods and all of the Grosse Pointes. Presently, our community is broken up into 2 different Michigan House districts, unfortunately. My respectful request this evening is for the Commission's consideration to merge our districts into one single district to match our school district boundary. This solution provides a square and compact district for our community of interest Thank you, commissioners, again, for all of you do. Have a nice evening.
Thank you for addressing the commission. 23.
You looking for 23 or you calling 24?
24. You're right, my apology.
I'm here. Good evening, commissioners. Welcome to Detroit. My name is Byron Osborne. I reside in Congressional District 13, State Senate 2, and State House District 4 in the city of Detroit. I'm also a precinct delegate for my congressional district. I live in the historic Boston Edison and Atkinson neighborhood. I voted to pass Proposition 2 with the intent of creating a transparent process as we move forward with redistricting. My neighborhood is made of legacy Detroiters. There's generations who have seen the city through good and bad times, who are vested in their neighborhoods, who have family here, who have moved, and family who has come back. But one thing stays the same: we are Detroiters. We are homeowners. We are family people. We are public servants. We have union members. We have city workers. We have a variety of people in that area, and through our engagement, our voices are heard. We are politically engaged. We stand strong with our elected representation. We stand strong with our neighbors. And because of this involvement and our strength, our neighborhoods are solid and our voices are heard. I ask that you consider keeping our district intact, that you protect the future of our voters who are coming of age in the future. And again, that you consider our district, consider our neighborhoods, keep us solid, keep us united. Thank you for your time on this commission. Thank you for your ear, and thank you for your service.
Thank you for taking the time to address the commission. 25, 26, 27, and 28.
How y'all doing? My name is William Grigsby. Forgive me for being a little nervous speaking like this, but I'm not sure if my series of questions necessarily falls under your purview, but I wanted y'all to necessarily think about them for the future. This is conditional on what the numbers are for the upcoming census. And I ask that, I say that because my first question is, what does the commission think about the new districts, compatibility with the prospect of municipal consolidation? That's followed by, if any municipality in Michigan does consolidate, is it the commission's authority to redistrict the new consolidated city council districts? Or is it the responsibility of a similar body in the consolidated municipality to do so? Number 3 is, how does the commission feel if the minimum size of a consolidated municipality outside of Detroit is around 100,000 people? The 4th question is, can the commission promise that the landmass of Detroit will not be subdivided in any way and instead grown to add around 100,000 people? Number 5 is, assuming that Detroit, Wayne County, Oakland County, and Macomb County, according to the Doxiadis vision, which was in 1970, I got the book right here, as y'all can see. It talked about consolidation back then. Assuming that the Metro Detroit area is consolidated in that manner, can the commission ensure that the city's new consolidated authority holds a proportional relationship with the city's new population, which is 157 representatives for 3,880,000 people? Number 6 is, will the new boundaries for a consolidated Metro Detroit be up for a public vote? And the final question is, I'll wrap it up right here. Can the commission that fulfills the same role as the state's commission be implemented on the local level, and the voting method of a new consolidated city be the additional member system, which is a proportional representation system to represent voters who don't belong to the two-party systems and want to engage in alternative politics like myself? Thank you. Oh, and my name is William Grigsby, by the way.
Thank you so much for engaging us with those inquiries. I submit those in our public comment tool. if you're willing, if you're open to do so. So we appreciate that. 26.
Hello, can you hear me? My name is Christian Aranda. I'm a community organizer for a nonprofit in Southwest Detroit. It's Congress of Communities. I'm a resident of the Southwest Detroit for 18 years, and I'm just here to asking you to keep our community together. The majority of the residents are Latinx, so we need the community to be together for advocate for them, and of course for me and for my family. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Naranja, for coming to speak with us and address the commission. 27.
Hi, my name is Elena Herrera. I'm speaking on behalf of a group of Latinos asking that our community be kept together with 09, 48209, 48210, 48216, 48217, Lincoln Park, and River Rouge. This combination is 48% Latino, 24% white, 25% African American. Thank you.
Thank you for taking the time to address the commission.
We switched. We're together. Go ahead.
So you were, what number am I looking at? 27 and 28?
Right.
Okay.
Hi, my name is Teresa Landrum. I am number 28. We switched, but we come from the area of District 6, Congressional District 13, and we're Southwest Detroit. We're advocating that you keep the African-American population, the Latino population together, and do not split the two districts. We have two districts, keep them the same. We have 13 and 14. And we would, the previous speaker, 19, spoke about the redlining map. I would ask the commission to look at the redlining map of spatial racism and see where Blacks, Brown, and Latino people were placed due to redlining. And we suggest that the commission keep these areas together. We're talking about the 5 previous mentioned, 48217, 48218, 4229, that's River Rouge and Ecorse, because with 216, 10, 09, we all are on that rectangular border. And I am in Detroit, but the other triple cities counterparts are River Rouge and Ecorse, and they have always been a part of the tradition of Black and Brown people coexisting together, and we share rich cultures. So we ask that you keep those 13th and 14th congressional districts together, and you keep the District 6 together and not split them up. And please, as the previous 19 mentioned, look at the spatial racism, and you guys can see how people were placed in areas that were undesirable. And we have learned to coexist with businesses that have been having a detrimental impact on our health. But we have still built a strong, vibrant community of Latinos, Black and Brown people, and African Americans. Thank you.
Thank you so much for taking the time to address the commission. 29, 30, 31, and 32.
Hello, my name is Abby Clark, and I am here to echo some of the excellent points that have been made at this hearing and some previous hearings. First of all, I so admire all of you for your willingness to take on this very difficult and challenging task that you have. It's not easy, and we can all see how much work you're putting in, and I am personally very appreciative of that. We voted for a new system of drawing districts because the previous system was unfair and served the people of the state very poorly. It was extremely biased, and we ended up with a partisan gerrymander that disenfranchised many communities, especially in Southeast Michigan. So I would encourage you strongly to start fresh drawing your new maps. Other people have said it, but it deserves to be reiterated that the old maps are a partisan gerrymander. They're exactly what we don't want from this new system. So please start from scratch with the new data and draw us brand new districts. And finally, I would say, please draw as many competitive districts as you can manage while fully considering all the other important criteria that you have to consider. Competitive districts allow the voters more opportunities to weigh in. When districts are not competitive and the elections are a foregone conclusion, politicians are less accountable to the people. So please, fresh maps and competitive districts. Thank you so much.
Thank you for taking the time to share your comments with the commission. 30.
Hello, my name is Joel from Southwest Detroit. So prior to 2011, District 12 housed the highest concentration of Latino voters in the state of Michigan. But as a result of redistricting in 2011, that vote was cracked into 3 separate districts and diluted our vote just as we were becoming the fastest growing demographic in the city and state, and deprived our ability to act in a cohesive manner. So really what we want is the Latino community of Southwest Detroit to stay together. The population is really the very definition of a community of interest. In an area of 93,000, Latinos community represents 47%. Combined with our other allies in the area, we represent a minority population of 68,000. We work together. We live in economically disadvantaged communities together. We go to the same schools. We like the basic infrastructure to work well. We all feel the effects of living in a city with environmental impacts, living by Marathon and just Delray and all the concentrated pollution. So the binding principles of the committee include seeking out opportunities to create minority majority districts, and this is one. So we deserve to be held whole on all the maps. So if we could hold that across the board for Michigan, for the House, the Senate, and for the US House. Thank you.
Thank you, Joel, for sharing your comments with the commission. 31.
Hello, good evening. My name is Nikki Becerra, and I am a Southwest Detroit resident. I am here today to testify on behalf of the Latinx community in Detroit who really care about our issues. I am here to testify that we are community of interest. It is literally the definition of community of interest. We have cultural, religious, language, access issues. The pollution is causing a lot of health issues, and we need to keep the minorities together. Currently, our community of interest is broken into 3 districts, 12, 13, and 14. None of the 3 pass the test of geographic contiguousness, particularly the one that falls into District 14. A person who lives in the most south part of Southwest Detroit is in the same district as people in the Waterford Township, which implies a driving distance of almost 1 hour. The requirements for districts call for a compactness requirement that is not met here. None of the 3 pass the test for compactness. 3 districts unnecessarily go across county and city lines, comprising parts of at least 3 or 5 cities each. Today, I ask that you keep our community of interest in compact, contiguous district between reasonable city limits. I will make sure that my map is uploaded at the website later. Thank you.
Thank you, Nikki, for sharing your behalf of Southwest Detroit. 32.
Hi there, my name is Christy McGillivray. I live in Grosse Pointe Woods, and it is thrilling to be here testifying. I know the mood in the room is kind of calm, but when I think about all the work that went into bringing this to fruition, it's really exciting. So thank all of you so much for the public service that you're offering. I'm really grateful for it. And I want to take this opportunity to represent the whole state of Michigan more broadly. Not that I think that I'm that important, but just I care most about having competitive districts. So please take into account the fact that our previous districts were heavily gerrymandered, incredibly partisan, and they led to a situation in which the only elections in many districts that mattered were primaries. And as we all know, when that happens, we get intense hyper-partisanship strictly in the primary, and we see really serious outcomes coming from that in what we've experienced over, since January 6th. So I really appreciate the work that you're doing. Please start over maps from scratch, and I really appreciate your time. Thank you so much.
Thank you for taking the time to address the commission. 33, 34, 35, and 36. 33, 34, 35, 36.
Hi, how are you? My name is Wendy Caldwell Liddell. And I really wanted to come and stress the fact that as a resident on Detroit's west side, I would really appreciate it if you guys would not use any of the existing or former maps to draw these district lines, and that instead you start from scratch completely with new maps. Ensure that you guys are listening to community voice and taking in lessons from past community experience to make these new lines. And that's all I had to say. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Wendy, for taking the time to address the commission. 34.
Hi there, good evening. My name is Denzel McCampbell. I'm a Detroit resident living on the far west side near Rouge Park. I want to thank you all for holding this meeting. Thank you all for your work. I know it's not lost on you all for how important it is and the impact it will have for representation, not only for the 10 years that these maps will be in existence, for even the time beyond that. So thank you. Today, I would like to ask the commission to not consider any of the current maps because they are simply rooted in political gerrymandering and partisan will. Residents voted to create the independent redistricting commission because we wanted a fresh start. Meetings like these are essential because they add to the numbers and data that I'm sure you all have been through and will continue to go through, but the community experiences really add to how these maps will impact our communities. I hope that you will use those experiences and shared interests of communities to draw maps as well as competitiveness and compactness, as well as the other criteria that you have to consider. Again, thank you so much for your work, and I will be sure to use the public comment database further. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Denzel, for taking the time to address the commission. 35.
Hello, how you doing today? My name is Jonathan Gonzalez. I am a Dearborn Heights resident and a precinct delegate of precinct 26, but I am a lifetime Detroiter, and my community of interest today would be Detroit. And I'll go ahead and begin. I ask that when the maps are drawn, Congressional, State House, and State Senate, that you consider ensuring that all Detroit is represented by Detroiters. I also ask that you count my fellow brothers and sisters who call Detroit home, but reside in other parts of the state due to incarceration. Thank you.
Jonathan, thank you for your comments in addressing the commission. 36.
Bye-bye.
Hello, my name is Maya Jones, in Detroit, born, raised, and educated, residing in 48221 Bagley community. So in 1964, President Lyndon B. Johnson signed the Civil Rights Act, which legally ended segregation, but too often we speak about how we're in a post-racial society and a not segregated society, but yet our current district lines in Southeast Michigan specifically continue to perpetuate a system that is segregated. And it does appear as a jigsaw puzzle, as someone else already said. So again, it clearly demonstrates segregation, redlining, gerrymandering that still exists. And unfortunately, our government, our constitution, and legal structures have often and continue to be the enemies of democracy, and it's time for that to change. When we reimagine the new districts, I'm asking the commission to really draw out fair maps that encourage inclusivity, diversity, and equity. We cannot continue to maintain the racial, economic inequities through our unfair redistricting, and these inequities continue to perpetuate resource and opportunity gaps, especially here in Detroit. These inequities are sustained by deeply rooted historical legacy structures and systems that repeat patterns of exclusion and racism. I believe that the role of our government, specifically this committee, is to create a comprehensive and fair map that helps redress inequities, that create barriers to access opportunities, which ultimately result in achievement gaps and life outcomes. We must explicitly address gerrymandering and redlining to help drive positive change in our community and eliminate systematic racial inequities. Thank you.
Maya, thank you for your thoughtful comments in addressing the commission this evening. 37, 38, 39, and 40. And 37, when you reach the mic, you can begin speaking. Don't trick me and go out of order. 37 speaks first.
Thank you. My name is Thomas Lewis. When I moved back to Detroit I became a homeowner, I think it was about 1996. And all I can remember the entire time were gerrymandered districts and how that infuriated me and how unfair it was. So when the state of Michigan finally overturned this egregious practice, I was jumping for joy. As a matter of fact, I applied to be on the very commission that you all serve. So my area of interest is the entire state of Michigan, because I wouldn't want you all to do what to the other part of Michigan, what was done to the city of Detroit. Because what's going on right now throughout the country is most people feel they were treated unfair and they want something done about it. Well, that was done to us for decades. So I wouldn't want you to do the same thing to anyone else. So all I ask is that you remember your charge to be upright and fair in all your dealings. That's all. Follow the law. I don't know if you're required to take an oath, but if you were, honor it. Be upright in all your dealings. That's all I ask. Thank you.
Thank you so much for reminding us of our charge, and we were required to take an oath that each of us takes seriously. So thank you for reminding us of our duties. 38.
Hello, my name is Oscar, and I live in Lansing, but I work in Detroit. So today I'm gonna be speaking about my community of interest, the Latino community. Some of you will be tomorrow at our town hall, and we will talk in more detail about the issues of the Latino community. But I just wanna say that in Southwest Detroit, there is a nucleus of more than 40,000 Latinos. And 15 years ago, we were able to have a state representative who was a Latino immigrant female. And that was because the community was a single district. At the next census, they cracked it in 3 different pieces, and we were never able to have representation. This is the most clear case that you have of cracking. So what we're asking you is to keep the Latino population in Southwest Detroit. Everybody knows what Mexican Town is, and you can find it in any of those softwares like Districter, and all of them you will find this big black dot of Latino population broken in 3 pieces now. Where what we're asking you is keeping us together. And in Lansing, we have exactly the same problem. We are divided in a very arbitrary line that breaks Lansing in 3 pieces. We're asking you to keep us together. That's all we're asking. And we have a whole lot of people who's gonna be submitting comments online, showing you this map. And we got together to design the map, and we will send you the link so it's in your memories. And hopefully we're gonna have hundreds of people sending you this map. But for the ones who are coming tomorrow, thank you very much, and we will bombard you with these ideas tomorrow. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Oscar, and thank you for bombarding us with the public comment tool. We need it. It is actually exciting to hear this many people, each of you come up and say that you're submitting things, because this is what the conversation is supposed to be. 39. There's no 39. 40.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Tyrell. I'm a resident in Detroit, 13th Congressional District. I appreciate you guys coming out and giving the time and consideration for the matter. I think it's important that you guys give strong consideration into keeping Wayne County and Detroit intact. It's a very diverse district, and Detroit has a lot of growth there. And there's real concern that, separating or carving up Detroit and Wayne County, that minority votes and voices will be marginalized. So I ask that you take strong consideration to keeping Wayne County and Detroit intact for those reasons. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much for taking the time to address the commission. 41, 42, 43, and 44.
Hello, my name is Reverend Dr. Yuri Bennett, and I'm an 81-year-old Detroiter, always in Detroit except for the years I spent in the military. I'm representing the Black Slate. Black Slate is a corporation, nonprofit political education corporation, and we appreciate you being here. You have a very hard and sensitive job coming up, and as you're doing here, because there's so much at stake. We in Detroit, especially Black Detroit, are used to voter suppression. We are used to redistricting. All those are of the same ilk. And we support your purpose. We're only asking what everybody else here is asking, and I know you're going to do that, and that is to be fair and be sensitive to what has to be in order to grow people, different groups of people. I'm speaking for the city of Detroit, and I'm speaking especially for the Black community. We thank you. God bless you.
Thank you for addressing the commission. We appreciate your comment. 42.
Hello, my name is Charles Kermy of 11925 Leewood Drive, Plymouth, Michigan, 48170. I'm a lifelong resident, 66 years, of Plymouth Township. I'm here to advocate for my communities of interest, which are Plymouth Township, the city of Plymouth, Northville Township, the city of Northville, and Salem Township. These communities share the following, and I'd like them to be included in congressional and state House and state Senate districts. All are part of Plymouth Canton School District is shared among these communities of interest. Plymouth Township and the city of Plymouth and a large part of Salem Township share the 48170 zip code. Northville and Plymouth Townships were originally one township and share their origins. In addition, these places share a lot of cultural, educational, and entertainment commonalities. Thank you for listening today, and thank you for the huge effort you are making to complete this daunting task.
Charles, thank you for your comments and recognizing the effort. 43.
Good evening. My name is Lisa Capatina. I recently moved to the city of Plymouth and now live in Wayne County. I did, however, live in Salem Township in Washtenaw County for the last 25 years, where I witnessed past redistricting change the true nature of our community representation. I respectfully ask your committee to consider going forward redistricting maps along lines more representative of a square and that are compact, as opposed to those districts with lines more representing jigsaw configurations. It is my humble opinion that the true concerns and interests shared by a community are not appropriately nor adequately addressed by these irregular maps. I thank you for your time and the opportunity to have a voice to express my concern regarding these issues. Again, my name is Lisa Capatina. Thank you.
Lisa, thank you for coming to share your comments with the commission. 44.
Yeah, hello. My name is Steve Walker, and I'm a longtime resident of Southwest Detroit and a retired political science professor. And I'm here today to also advocate for a Latino district in Southwest Detroit. As a number of people have tried to point out, it's obviously a community of interest. That's the second thing on your list of criteria, so we hope you'll keep that in mind. Frankly, I've been part of a group that's been organized since 1980, trying to impact redistricting and get Latino district. We object to the current lines because it cuts the community up into 2 congressional districts, 3 state Senate districts, and 2 House districts. Please try to put us all in the same districts. I want to focus on the state House because, as somebody said previously, there's probably 35 to 45,000 Latinos in Southwest Detroit. It's not enough to dominate a district, but if we were all in the same district, it would give us a chance to have some real impact. We would like a district basically that goes from downtown Detroit to the city limits along Verner and Michigan Avenues. It's not going to be enough people for a whole district, so we would like to go north or east from those boundaries. Lastly, I'd like to say that I do support zip code 48217. Several people have spoken from there. I have friends in that neighborhood. They're clearly a community of interest, as these other folks have said, and I think they deserve to have their own representation in their own district. And as somebody else said, you can add Ecorse and River Rouge because the people in that area go back and forth. And there's a current district that goes up along the lake shore on to the east side of Detroit. I think the lake shore is also a community of interest. Our objection is that currently that district number 6 cuts into the Latino community and takes about a third of our people. We want all our people together. So we would like that District 6, whatever you call it, to continue to exist, but go further onto the east side and not cut into our area.
Thank you so much for taking the time to address the commission. 45, 46, 47, and 48. 45, 46, 47, and 48. When you are at the mic and you're ready to speak, you can begin.
Hi, my name is Kathy, and I lived in Southwest Detroit for 50 years. I've seen everything come and go, and I wish everything would stay the same. Right now, too, people like you, if there wants to be some type of change, I wish you guys would come over and see and talk to the people on how you feel if there is a change. Right now, it's just that I feel things should stay the same, but to me, I don't look at the color, the race, the Republicans or Democrat. I feel that people all should be created equal. And it's been hard since this COVID thing started. It seemed like everything is falling apart after 2019, and I want to see everybody get together and things go back to the way they were. That's about it.
Thank you for sharing your comments with the commission. 46.
Yeah, my name is Jeff Reed. I've been a resident of Detroit since 2012. I moved here from Los Angeles because the weather's great here. I'm kidding, it's not. But what I really wanted to say is that we really need to, when we're doing this, start over, start the maps new, because you know that the gerrymandering that was done previously was meant to pack Democrats and moderates into Southeast Michigan in very few districts for the House, the Senate, and for Congress. So let's throw away the old maps, and let's also try to, as the young lady said before, get competitive races. We don't need Democrats, trying to see how much they can be on the left, Republicans see how crazy they can be on the right. Let's get some moderation so we can actually get things done. At the end of the day, I don't care what the race is or anything like that. We need to be able to get things done, get moderates in there to progress and move us forward so we don't end up like a Mississippi or something like that. Thank you.
Jeff, thank you for taking the time to share your comments with the commission. 47.
Hi, my name is Lenore Sendo. I canvassed in my area. I live in the Ann Arbor area for the passage of Proposition 2, which gave us the new current law of neutral redistricting. It seemed to me that even people who didn't understand it were, once it was explained to them, were overwhelmingly in favor of it. So I'd like to make some general comments about the value of the new redistricting law. I was born in Dearborn, Michigan. I lived in New York City for 30 years, and I currently live in Ann Arbor. I've worked in private enterprise. I've taught at Oakland Community College in Royal Oak and Washtenaw Community College in Ypsilanti. The influence and the good corporate citizenship of Ford Motor Company and the union households of the communities made the public school district one of the highest rated in the country. I was a beneficiary of that. New York City, like Ann Arbor, is a Democratic stronghold, and it should be represented as such, where citizens live in close proximity and thrive or fail based on community support and civic responsibility. Ann Arbor, with the University of Michigan, its anchor and its reputation speaks for itself. All these communities are reliably Democratic. That's who its citizenry is. Gerrymandering, redrawing districts to either pack voters in one district or search them out from another opposite or more neutral leaning district to skew the actual needs of that community does a great injustice to the community and is a muzzle on people's voices and misrepresents them, and it's a misrepresentation of them. Let's keep our communities intact and let's not partisan redistricting dilute the power of its citizens.
Thank you so much for sharing your comments with the commission. 48.
Hello, how is it with this mask? I'm still battling reopening anxiety.
So
Is
I
it okay?
can't tell you what to do about your safety. We do have ASL translation and other interpretation services that are trying to figure out what folks are saying.
Okay, you know what? I'll just take it off.
All right, you got it.
Hello, hi, happy Friday Eve. My name is Regina Sang. I've been a resident of Detroit for the past 11 years in the 13th Congressional District, and before that in the infamous 14th, where my parents and most of my family still live. I'm here today on behalf of all the different communities I have the honor of being a part of. I'm here as the mother of a young daughter enrolled in Detroit Public Schools, a district historically and consistently under-resourced, with our babies going to learn in crumbling buildings and lacking the social and mental health services our families and educators deserve and need. I'm here as a child of Chinese immigrants, as a part of the Asian American community, which has been scapegoated, under attack, killed even in this past year and throughout history. We are in the city where Vincent Chin was murdered by laid off auto workers. I'm here as an organizer who works within various vibrant Asian communities in our great state, such as the Bangladeshi community in Detroit, Hamtramck, Warren, Burmese in Grand Rapids and Battle Creek, Chinese in Novi, Troy, the list goes on. And I'm here on behalf of my friends and my neighbors and my loved ones, especially our Black, Latinx, Arab, and Indigenous communities who constantly have to fight just for their right to live and care for their families. I'm here because we need accountable representation that will protect the interests of the most underserved, historically marginalized among us. We need representation who will lift up education standards that value all our children and our collective experiences, and that includes curriculum that teaches Asian American history in Detroit and beyond. And being on this commission is a tremendous task. We thank you for all the attention and all the efforts you've poured into this. You have the lives of so many people in your hands, people who will feel real harm if our communities continue to be split and diluted and erased if Detroit loses a congressional seat. So as you move forward in this hard work, please remember all our communities, keep them together, do the right, fair, and equitable thing. Thank you.
Thank you so much. At this time, we are not at all finished with our in-person public commentary, and we do as well have remote public commentary for this public hearing, but we've been going at it for a while, and I do like for folks to get up and have self-care, AKA go to the restroom and do whatever you need to do. So we will take a 10-minute recess if there's no objection. Hearing no objection, we will return to the public hearing at 6:49. $6:50. find your seats. Thank you for being patient. We're just waiting for one commissioner. I call this meeting of the Michigan Independent Citizens Redistricting Commission back to order at 6:56 p.m. For purposes of the public record, will Michigan Department of State staff please take the roll?
Good evening again, commissioners. Please say present when I call your name. If you are attending the meeting remotely, please announce during roll call that you are attending the meeting remotely. And unless your absence is due to military duty, please announce your physical location by stating the county, city, township, or village and the state from which you are attending the meeting remotely. I'll start with Doug Clark.
Present.
Juanita Curry.
Present.
Anthony Eid.
Present.
Brittney Klum.
Present.
Rhonda Lang. Steve Lett.
Present.
Cynthia Orton. MC Rothhorn.
Present.
Rebecca Zatella.
Present.
Janice Follett.
Present.
Aaron Wagner. Richard Weiss.
Present.
Dustin Witches.
Present.
10 commissioners are present and there is a quorum.
Thank you, Sarah Reinhardt. At this time, we'll continue on with our in-person public comments. A few reminders: you'll step to the nearest microphone when I call your number. You'll have 2 minutes to address the commission. Please conclude your remarks when you hear the timer. And also there will be a timer that's displayed on the screens that you see on either side of us. If you feel that you have something to say, again, please go to our public comment tool, michigan.gov/MICRC. We'll continue on with our public comment with numbers 49, 50, 51, and 52. 49, 50, 51, 52. 49, if you are at the mic and you're ready to begin speaking, you can address the commission.
Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
To the chairperson and all the committee members. My name is David E. Nathan. I am a resident of the city of Detroit and a former state legislator. 2008, I represented District 8 in the city of Detroit, District 11. After the redistricting in 2010, I represented District 8. I was the vice chairman of the redistricting committee in Lansing during the redistricting of 2010. I am so happy to see that you all are here today. I also am a plaintiff in the lawsuit against the Secretary of State for the redistricting maps of 2010. My reason for speaking today is to bring awareness to the fact that this commission is very needed. The lawsuit was basically regarding the idea that citizens were being disenfranchised because politicians were picking their representation versus the citizens able to pick the person that represents them. 2014, I ran for Senate. Because of redistricting, there were 3 communities that were added to the current district that I represented, which was District 8. It included Detroit, West Side, Dearborn Heights, Garden City, Redford, and Dearborn Heights, Garden City, Redford, a couple other communities. Anyhow, a gentleman out of Dearborn Heights won that seat after serving 1 term in the state house. Now, while we were going through the process of drawing the maps, the Republican Party came to me as the chair of the Detroit caucus and said to me that if we wanted our districts not to be drawn into other districts, we needed to vote on the maps that currently exist, that they would put in place if we agreed with them. We did not agree with them. So we have the maps that we have now. This commission, if you do your job, citizens will have representation of the people that they want in office in Lansing that make sure that the things that that community needs, they get, because that person represents them and they live in that community.
Your allotted 2 minutes is in. Please do use our public comment tool to finish your thoughts and to reference any area that you might specifically be speaking about. Again, that can be found at michigan.gov/MICRC50.
Good evening. My name is Emily Bauman, and today I am from Westland. I'm representing the 13th Congressional District. And since I saw you last in Dearborn, I decided to do a little additional research just for my own good benefit. And I thought there were a couple of statements that I thought were very interesting. One of them was that the founders of our country explicitly designed the House of Representatives to be an institution that reflects local and regional concerns. The other one that I thought was interesting was, hold on. The idea that, I don't know if I'm gonna find it the right way. The idea that not allowing a safe district, no one should be representing their district automatically knowing that they're going to actually get reelected again. If we're really pulling people up from our neighborhoods and our people who are representing us, we really need to make sure that there's an opportunity for real elections, for real competitiveness between candidates that are on the ballots, and there's not a safe district. So that's something that's very important to me when I think about it. I will reiterate some of the things I said in Dearborn, and that is the idea of having clear compact districts. I don't know if you've seen the shape of the 13th Congressional District and all the little jagged cuts and jigsaws and things like that, which actually do cause areas to be marginalized and forgotten because they don't have to be considered because there's enough people elsewhere that can take care, that they can serve only this group and not worry about other groups. So I think we really need to look at those square compact districts, very much so. And that's for me, Emily Bauman also. And you did meet a couple people last time? 51?
50, thank you for providing comments to the commission, Emily, and 51.
Hello, my name is Gus Bauman, and wow, I practiced. Forgot.
You got it. You got it. We're an easy group.
Thank you for coming. Remember that you're doing this for the people. Pretty much it. Thanks.
Best public comment ever. Thank you. Thank you so much. And is this 52?
You have to do it? All right, well, thank you.
For purposes of the public record, our brave 52 decided that they were not going to speak. And so I'll be calling the next, our next folks to provide public comment to this evening's hearing. 53, 54, 55, and 56. 53, 54, 55, and 56. What numbers do we have here? Are you 55? I'm 55. 55, and you're 56. So 53 and 54, you're 54. Okay, so for the purpose of the public record, 53 doesn't seem to be present, so we're gonna start with 54.
This week's issue, you guys, Metro Times, I just picked them up. Battle of the Ballot Box, behind the GOP plot to restrict voting access in Michigan. Now, here's what I'm concerned with. Locally, I'm a Detroiter, and we have a different type of voter suppression here. Our leaders say they're Democrats, but they sure are silent. You don't hear too much about the election coming up. You do, if listening the other day, it was like you heard about the governor's race. Was Craig gonna run as a cop running for governor in 2 years? But you didn't, and 2 months, less than 2 months, we got an election here in August. If you go down to the election department, they give you a list of the candidates that are on the ballot for August. And then in the lower left-hand corner, and little on each sheet, it says no primary in any of the police commission districts, and the following districts don't have a primary because they didn't have more than 2 candidates. Some of them only have 1 candidate. But we aren't supposed to ask them. They don't bother to tell you who did get on the ballot for November. And so this is like a secret election. Then when I ask them, well, why don't you put the emails and the phone numbers, not just the address, so in case they don't want me to stalk them at their house, you know. But this is really, we got to do something locally here different. And it's just not a matter of redistricting or anything. If you don't get it right locally, that's where this federal money comes down to. And if it gets stolen and misused and actually used as a weapon against us a lot of times, the way they develop with it. So I just want people to think about 2 things, proportional representation and approval voting. Look those up on the internet. We need a new system, and that's part of it. And we need to force them, if you have to do it in legislation, to tell us what the fuck is going on in the government. Better, I mean, they've got the capability.
Cindy, unfortunately, you're allotted 2 minutes has
It's
ended.
worse now than it used to be. And if people aren't informed, they're trying to keep the charter off the ballot. They don't want to turn out.
Cindy, unfortunately, your allotted 2 minutes has ended.
The turnout, and they might get a new mayor. Wouldn't that be something?
Thank you so much
We need
for
a new
providing.
city clerk. The city clerk is incompetent and corrupt. We need a new city clerk. And I'm back in Beverly Kendall Walker, and Denzel would be, you know, okay.
Cindy, your allotted 2 minutes has
Beverly's got a lot of
ended.
experience, but do not vote for the other 2. And Underwood is my choice, Joanne Underwood for District 7.
We've
She's a
got, you're
fighter
out
for
of
the people.
order. As a reminder, so that we can be respectful and honor each other's time up at the mic, you have 2 minutes. You'll hear the timer. Please finish your sentence. Don't begin another one. We're an easy group again. And anything that you feel like you want to say extra, please do utilize our public comment tool. 55.
Hi, my name is Chris. I'm also from Detroit, and I do agree we do really need a new city clerk here. So first off, I would like to thank the commission for what you're doing and to personally express how proud I am to see my state and my city so well represented here. So I have prepared a map that I will be uploading with a more extensive write-up later on to the portal. But for now, there are 3 points about the map that I would like to make, specifically relating to Metro Detroit. Obviously, the map is based on 2010 census data that wouldn't exactly apply anymore. So it's certainly not meant to be a recommendation for exact lines between districts. But I think it does serve to illustrate some principles that I think could be still really effectively applied for the next round. So firstly, is that it's possible to adhere to both the letter and the spirit of the Voting Rights Act and maintain minority electoral power without ignoring community boundaries and packing most or all of the city of Detroit into a single district. So in the map that I'll be uploading, it is clearly possible to draw 2 majority, minority, and plurality Black districts rooted in Detroit that don't snake around into Pontiac and random parts of Oakland County. It's possible to do that while keeping everything within Wayne County and without packing almost all of the state's Black voters into 2 districts and essentially denying representation to Black voters in places like Oakland County. Secondly, and along similar lines, I think that it's still going to be necessary and good to divide the city of Detroit into 2 districts and maintain 2 representatives that are rooted in Detroit. That division needs to be done in a much more logical and fair way than is currently done. And it is possible to do that. It's possible to divide Detroit and maintain 2 majority-minority districts without carving up places like Southwest Detroit. And lastly, along similar lines, when considering minority population, the commission should consider Arab American Michiganders separately from the white population. Currently, that's a group that's all lumped together, which essentially serves to wipe out a major demographic group in our region. So thanks for your time and thanks for what you're doing.
Thank you for sharing, and thank you for using the public comment tool to continue to share. 56.
Good evening, commissioners. My name is Dennis Bryant. I'm a precinct delegate. I live in the city of Detroit. I stay on Detroit's east side in the LaSalle College Park District. I just want to say thank you all for taking the time to speaking to us this evening. I know that you all have a monumental task to getting these redistricting lines together, and I hope for the best. I'm speaking as a Detroit resident. I hope that I hope that you are going through this in a straightforward way to make sure that Detroit gets fair and proper representation when these maps are withdrawn. When these maps are redrawn. I don't want my congressional district looking like the number 3 or the number 5. So I just want to say I'll be giving my best wishes to you all and make sure you all do the right thing to make these maps fair and impartial. Thank you.
Thank you so much for taking the time to address the commission. 57.
Good evening. My name is Inga Balke. I live in Wyandotte. It's a little town just downriver, and it's in downriver, but we're split up when we're covered by our districts. I wanted to say thank you very much to everyone who's here. I see some of you are coming 3 and 4 hours to come to this meeting, and I really appreciate the time and effort that everyone's putting in. I went and was part of the Voters Not Politicians because I felt very strongly about the need for representation to make people feel engaged. One of the things that bother me the most right now is that our democracy is threatened and we're losing a district. And if people don't feel engaged, they don't vote. And then we don't know what they want. And how can a representative truly engage with people when they don't tell them what they want and need? That's what we need to have. We need to have districts that represent people so they feel like my vote does matter. When I canvassed for this thing to get this commission in place, they were like, what's the difference? Why should I care? We should all care. That's why you're here. You did more than I did. I forgot the deadline. I was going to apply and then I didn't make it. So thank you for being part of this, because we need concerned and dedicated people from all stretches, Republican, Independent, Democrat, agnostic. I don't care what you are, you care. And that's what we need. Because I don't want to be represented by something that looks like a dumbbell, because I live in Wyandotte. And then my son was in Ann Arbor going to U of M, and he's like, Mom, we're in the same district. And I'm like, you're kidding me, right? And it's a real thin line that goes around I-94 that attaches the Detroit River to Ann Arbor. So I know you guys are going to do a much better job than that. So thank you very much.
Inga, thank you so much for sharing your passion and your appreciation for the commission. And thank you for addressing us this evening. 58.
Good evening. My name is Joy Canty. I'm from 48221. I'm new to this, but I'm an old Detroiter all my life, born and raised. And I am learning and I'm doing my research. So I know one thing that we do want is that Detroit base to remain solid. A lot of us has been here for a long time, all of our lives, years and years. We've seen the bad, the ugly, and the bad again. People, they take. We promised the good and we always get the bottom, the scraps. So for once, give us some respect, give us some attention, give us your ear, listen to the people, put your heart into your soul into it, and just for once, just listen to what Detroit wants, what we want as the people. We're all in this together. And I really appreciate you all taking out the time and the opportunity. This is my first time being able to speak at a public hearing, and I consider it an honor and a privilege. Thank you.
Thank you so much for taking the time to speak to the commission. We appreciate you. 59. $60.
Good evening. My name is Carol Banks, and I thank you guys for holding the second hearing here in Detroit. I spoke at the Fellowship Chapel also. I'm here again to make a special request that you keep Detroit intact. We're still the largest city in the state of Michigan, and we do deserve 2 congressional districts. I've lived on the east side of Detroit all of my life. I'm here representing the Fairview Black Club. I'm currently living in a home that I inherited. My aunt and uncle both bought this home in 1961, and I still live there. I do remember in the 60s when we were running up and down the street, when the entire block was full. You could run from Jefferson all the way down to Kercheval on Fairview, or all the way down on Warren. And yes, it was filled with houses. Well, it currently isn't. There are 4 houses on the block that I live on from Jefferson to Kercheval. Someone spoke the other night and said that we do have things in comparison to the 5 Points in Harper Woods. I beg to differ that. Does Harper Woods have a city filled with vacant lots? No. Does Harper Woods have a disenfranchised school district? No. Does Harper Woods have food deserts, or does the 5 Points have food deserts? No. Is the average income in the city of Detroit with 3 children and the mom being the head of household, $29,000? No. I could go on and on and on. But the issues for us in Harper Woods and the 5 Points are totally different. So this is why I beg for you to allow us to have 2 congressional districts. Let's split the city up correctly, because again, we have over 674 people in the city of Detroit. So that demands that we have 2 districts. Again, my name is Carol Banks. I thank you for allowing me to come and speak to you. Please take in consideration what I said about our differences. God bless you and thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Banks, for coming and speaking on behalf of your community. We appreciate the information that you shared with us. 61, 62, and 63. 61, 62, 63. It looks like we have all of those folks. So 61, when you're ready to speak and address the commission, please begin.
Hi, good afternoon, good evening. My name is Teresa Cuevas.
I'm sorry to interrupt you. Can you come closer to the microphone, please? Yep.
Hi, good evening. My name is Teresa Cuevas. I am part of the Latino community in Southwest Detroit, and I would like to request, please, to keep our community together. I am here to ask you to draw the maps that our districts can keep together. Especially, you know, I'm a owner of a small business right on the Springwells, and I see my community, that Hispanic, Mexican, and like somebody else said, is 35,000, between 35 to 40,000, which is kind of a big. I live in Ecorse, and it's a lot of people also living in Ecorse, River Rouge, and Lincoln Park. So please, I ask you to keep our community together, especially the one in Southwest Detroit, which is the District 6. Thank you.
Thank you so much for taking the time to address the commission. 62.
Good evening to everybody. My name is Bomani, Ani Bomani, and I'm a proud resident of the east side of Detroit, Jefferson Chalmers. It's the 14th Congressional District, and I implore this panel to make sure that we keep these districts strong and intact so that we do not dilute the power of the Black community. And apparently they're trying to dilute the power of the brown community too. But we need to make sure that we keep these groups, this power of these groups intact. Apparently the Republicans, their intentions is to make sure that Black folks, not only here, but every place in the country, cannot vote and exert the power that they actually have. We need to make sure that these congressional districts are reasonable, not made, like somebody said, shaped like 3s or shaped like 5s. We need to make sure they're blocks that are people who are, that can vote in a block, vote in a block, so that the power is intact and the power is strong, and we don't allow the Republicans or white supremacy to dilute the power of the Black community. Thank you. Again, my name is Bomani, and I live in District 4. Thank you.
Bomani, thank you for coming to speak on behalf of your community. We appreciate your comments. 63.
Good evening. I am Carl Balke, and together with my wife, we live in Wyandotte, and we were part of the Voters Not Politicians drive that ultimately culminated in this panel. We're really glad to be able to talk to you tonight. We did walk around and talk to people, explain the Voters Not Politicians, the ability to be able to select from the people their representatives rather than have the politicians pick who was going to vote for them. And by talking to them, what we did find out is that people wanted to have more competitive districts. They didn't want to be in just a block of Democrats or a block of Republicans. So you really do have a monumental task in front of you, because you have people arguing that they want to be held together. And you have other people who argue that they want to be competitive. But to get more people involved in the political process, that's going to be one of your tasks, is to try and balance the needs of these different groups. I'm also an educator. I teach in Detroit public schools, and one of my biggest concerns is the youth of the state. And there are 3 big pots of money that are coming up right now. So whoever we put in power through this process is going to have control of those purse strings and be able to dictate where that money is going. So we have to be very careful who our representatives are. Thank you for your time, and I really appreciate you being here tonight.
Thank you so much for taking the time to address the commission. At this time, we have no more in-person public comment for the hearing, but we are moving to our remote public comment. So you'll either hear or see your fellow citizens do the same thing that we did in the room, but they're going to do it virtually. As a reminder, individuals who have signed up and indicated that they would like to provide live remote public commentary to the commission will now be allowed to do so. I will hand the floor over to Michigan Department State of Staff. And if you are on a computer, you will be prompted by the Zoom app to unmute your microphone and speak. If you are on the phone, a voice will say that the host would like you to speak and prompt you to press *6 to unmute. The staff will introduce you. And note that if you experience technical or audio issues and we don't hear you from 3 to 5 seconds, we will move on to the next person in line and then return to you after they are done speaking. If your audio still does not work, you can email redistricting@michigan.gov and we'll help you troubleshoot so that you can participate during the next public comment period or at a later hearing or meeting. If you have signed up twice to provide public comment, you will go your second time after everyone has taken a turn, their first turn. You have 2 minutes to address the commission. Please conclude your remarks when your 2 minutes has ended and you hear the timer. Go to the public comment tool and share your comments in writing, remembering that everyone in the commission might not be from your specific area or community. So it's helpful to us to include areas of the map that you're specifically speaking of. At this time, I'll turn the floor over to Michigan Department of State staff, better known as MDOS, and they will begin our remote public comment, excuse me.
Thank you, Madam Chair. First in line to provide remote public comment is Sophia Chu. Please allow us 1 moment to unmute you.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Sophia. We can see and hear you.
Oh, fantastic. Thank you. My name is Sophia Chu. I'm the Executive Director of the Caribbean Community Service Center in Detroit. Our mission is to support, empower, and advocate for Caribbean nationals who are here in the Americas and also new arrivals. The Caribbean community has been in Detroit since the late 1800s. We have provided leadership in the African American and Detroit communities since our arrival. Today, I'm talking to you asking you to recognize the Caribbean community as a community of interest in the redistricting effort. According to the previous census figures, it was estimated that there were 12,393 West Indian immigrants of first ancestry who live in the Tri-County area. This number does not include second, third, or other Caribbean descendants, and it is the latest number available. Similar, in previous censuses, we did not track folks of Caribbean identity, although we are dispersed throughout the region and the state, but we're concentrated in Northwest Detroit. We are going to be uploading a map with narrative that defines these areas for you. One of the main areas in which our voice must be heard is the area of education. Caribbean nationals who migrate here often do not have the resources and information available to them to adequately navigate the education system. I know this firsthand because I made this journey to America from Jamaica when I was 16 years old. I arrived here with skills and knowledge from one of Kingston's finest high schools. However, these skills were not recognized here. I was not screened or tested or placed in appropriate academic circumstances. And frankly, I wasted a lot of time in classes being taught things that I was already taught. I want us to also talk about our communities comprised mainly of Black immigrants. Our experiences with the criminal system is often fearful and anxious due to large societal forces that have been identified, especially by the Black Lives Matter.
Sophia, unfortunately, your allotted 2 minutes has ended. I know.
I was just ending. Sorry. Thank you so much for your time and all you guys are doing. I appreciate you.
Thank you. Please submit. You can submit what you have in writing in our public comment portal, and we will continue to review it there. So I encourage anyone, if you get cut off, don't be discouraged. It's the worst, but please do submit it online at www.michigan.gov/MICRC.
Our next remote public comment participant is Jeffrey Harold. Please allow us a moment to unmute you.
Thank you to the commission for allowing me this opportunity to address you. My name is Reverend Jeffrey Held. I pastor New Beginnings Community Church of Washington County in the Ypsilanti, Ann Arbor area. I live in Ann Arbor, but a native Detroiter. I'm also a member of the Washington Regional Organizing Coalition and chair the Voter Registration, Education, and Mobilization Committee of the Sigma Rho Graduate Chapter of Omega Psi Phi Fraternity Incorporated. In 1987, I was appointed to pastor a small AME church in Brighton, Michigan, and I did a demographic study to find out how the Black community was there. I found out there was 600 Black residents in Green Oak Township, which kind of amazed me to know that, until I come to find out that they were located in Maxie Boyd's training school, and that was my first introduction to prison gerrymandering. What I would like the commission to consider is the impact of prison gerrymandering, where residents of prisons from primarily Black and brown communities are housed in communities that are not like them, and they give representation to those communities beyond their residence. These individuals, these men and women, they don't have voting rights, nor are they represented by those communities. To give you a sense of how this plays out, the 33rd, 37th, and 38th Senate districts each have 3 prisons. The 19th Senate district in the state of Michigan has 4 prisons, and the 15th Senate district has 5 prisons. I don't know how you would draw this map to include these people in the communities of their origin, in the communities they're going back to, that they might be fully and properly represented by those who have their best interests at heart. Thank you for the opportunity to speak to the commission, and God bless you in your work.
Thank you, Reverend Harold, for coming to share your comments with the commission. We appreciate that.
Our next remote public comment participant is Anand Wells. Please allow us a moment to unmute you.
We can't hear you.
Can you hear me now?
Absolutely, yes.
All right, awesome. Hello, my name is Nani Wells. I'm from Michigan. I live in Westland, Michigan, and I'm here to just speak to you guys, to just ask you to draw the districts and just draw the districts fairly. I just know these districts have been gerrymandered for the past decade or so, and I just ask that you guys just make it fair, and what everybody else was saying, make it equitable and make it fair, so everyone who does live in Michigan is fairly represented. And it hasn't been like that for a long time. It hasn't been proper representation of a lot of people in the state of Michigan. And I know this because, like, Michigan, every time we come to vote, we vote for people that really represent us, like Biden, and not even political parties, but if you see the patterns of how we do vote, we vote a certain way. And in our Congress, in the state and Senate, it fails at representing us in that same way. And we just ask that you guys just create good districts that's just not weird, and districts that's in our communities and not gerrymander. I really appreciate you guys taking this time out to listen to me and listen to everyone that's here. You guys are doing a great job, and I'm glad that this has been established.
Thank you so much, Anand, for taking the time to provide your comments to the commission.
Our next public comment participant is Luke Roadhorst. Please allow us one moment to unmute you.
Hello, everybody. Can you hear me all right?
Yes, we can hear you, Luke.
Okay, great. Thank you all so much for your time, and to see democracy in action is really exciting, and it's an honor to be a part of it, along with all my fellow Michiganders here. So the community of interest I'm representing is the 12th Congressional District, 53rd State House District, and 18th State Senate District. And I just want to reiterate what a lot of other folks have already been saying, that I want competitive districts, fresh maps, and an end to prison gerrymandering. Really what I see as a big issue here is when elections are decided at the primary, it only encourages the more extreme views or more partisan views to, out of necessity, be the loudest voices. You can only be the most extreme to win in an overly gerrymandered district. And when you only have, when the only way for you to maintain and keep power is to be the most extreme because of the system of gerrymandering that's in place now, it doesn't encourage folks coming together. It doesn't incentivize people having to take an entire, a broader, more bipartisan perspective into account. So I just really want to underscore that point in particular, that drawing fair lines that don't incentivize the extremes, and by drawing lines that are fair, that lead to a conversation, that lead to compromise, that lead to bipartisanship, and doesn't incentivize just the most extreme voices among us. Thank you so much to the commission for your time doing this kind of interaction with us as citizens, and good luck going ahead, and yeah, enjoy the summer, everybody.
Luke, thank you for providing comments to the commission.
Our next public comment participant is Rochelle Garcia. Please allow us a moment to unmute you.
Sorry about that. Buenas tardes y gracias por oír mis ideas. Good evening, and thank you for giving me the opportunity to speak. I am here, my name is Raquel Garcia. I live in Southwest Detroit, and I'm here to talk to you about Southwest Detroit as a community of interest. We face 8,000 trucks daily in our neighborhood that come through the Ambassador Bridge, and is estimated to triple as soon as the next bridge is going to open. We face VOCs, volatile organic compounds, and emissions in our neighborhood. There are 20 large industrial companies, steel mills, chemical and gasoline plants. There's 5,000 school absences that occur annually in Detroit due to air pollution. We have increased rates of asthma, heart disease, COPD, and cancer. There are 70,000 lost days of work annually due to air pollution. And so that's just some of what we face here due to the industry. District 6 is where Southwest Detroit is. There's 106,000 people, 42,000 of those are Black, 42,000 are Latino, and 20,000 are white, with about 5,000 who are of Arabic speaking cultures. And so our neighborhoods, congressional and state Senate seats are snake through Detroit, down to the east side to Grosse Pointe, and up to like Bloomfield Hills and West Bloomfield, I think. And so we know that we don't share a lot of commonality, and so we are asking that you consider keeping our population together so that we can vote to protect our brown and Black bodies from this pollution. We are the same district. We are the largest Latino district in Michigan. Like Hamtramck, we need to be a voting bloc to protect ourselves. We will be reaching out to Darcy McConnell or Maureen Saxton to schedule a town hall meeting around our Southwest Detroit environmental justice community. Thank you so much for this opportunity.
Thank you so much, Raquel, for coming or for sharing your comments with the commission this evening. We appreciate that.
Our next public comment participant is Tomina Rawls. Please allow us a moment to unmute you.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. I'm sorry, this system. Here we go. The term gerrymandering was coined by a review of Massachusetts redistricting map of 1812 set by Governor Elbridge Gerry that was named because one of the district looked like a salamander. My name is Tamina Ross and I represent the mighty 13th district here in Redford Township, Michigan. We are also in line with part of Dearborn Heights, the city of Dearborn Heights, part of the city of Detroit, Ecorse, the city of Ecorse, the city of Garden City, Highland Park City, the city of Inkster, Melvindale, River Rouge, Romulus, Wayne County, and Westland. If you could see how the district is shaped, it just looked like a salamander sleeping. I hope and pray that everyone on the commission do the right thing, as well as being transparent as much as possible. Redford Township often serve as a filter between Detroit and Livonia. And due to that fact, we are often good for the bad and not good for the good. So especially in our school district, when you have 70% of the teachers that have no confidence in the superintendent. So I hope, in fairness, for the sake of democracy, that the redistricting of the state of Michigan, as well as what I just mentioned, is in fairness and the constituents can be represented appropriately. I do hope that you guys have a blessed day, and I wouldn't want to be in your shoes. So have a blessed day and thank you.
Thank you for taking the time to provide virtual public comment. We appreciate that.
Our next public comment participant is Jim Angel. Please allow us a moment to unmute you.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes.
All right, Jim Angel. I'm here strictly on a scientific basis and not a community of interest, because all those are important. But with the way we can analyze data nowadays, I think it's important for the committee to be able to use what's available in data analysis in community interest and so forth. I would urge the panel, if they would, to look at a valued magazine in today's world, Scientific American. And in the Scientific American, in November of 2018, a very, very important article is written, Geometry versus Gerrymandering. In this article, it explains, I think to anybody with any basic knowledge of how just putting people in community of interest and so forth can still lead to disenfranchisement and so forth. And so I'm asking the committee is, when you're doing this today and in the future, is to please use the data analysis that's available out there. Thank you very much for all your time and the efforts you've done. Thank you.
Thank you, Jim, for taking the time to address the commission.
Our next public comment participant is Tanisha Brownell. Please allow us a moment to unmute you. It appears Tanisha might be experiencing some technical difficulties, so we will return to her in just a moment. We'll move on to our next participant, Valerie Branas. Please allow us a moment to unmute you.
Hi, can you hear me?
Yes, Valerie, we can. How are you?
I'm great. How are you? Thank you for asking. I'm so pleased to be here today. I am a 76-year resident of the city of Detroit. I've lived in 6 different communities as I grew up. And I would like to speak about a particular kind of community of interest, and that is of highly organized communities. We have a number of highly organized communities where we have voluntary homeowners associations, we have elections, we have elected board members, we have newsletters, and we worked hard to build our community. And you have heard from a number of them today. I would add Rosedale Park, Green Acres, Sherwood Forest, Palmer Woods, Boston Edison, and the Detroit Golf Club community. And it would be really wonderful if none of these communities were cut in half by redistricting. In other words, if we can have both halves of the organization have the same congressional representative and et cetera. I don't know if that's really possible, because I'm sure that with all the variables you have to take into consideration, there are some things that have to go by the wayside, but that's important to me. And in our community, we are also a special assessment district. What we're looking for and what we deeply need after many years of suffering through districts that were intended to leave Detroit out of the mix. We need fairness. I am a member of the 14th Congressional District, of the 3rd State Representative District, and the 4th Senate District. And we have suffered through people who were preordained to win because the district they were running in, designed by a party that they were a part of, enabled them to win and beat other people. We've had the situation where we voted in elections to pass a certain proposal, and then it gets destroyed in Lansing because those people don't represent us. So thank you very much.
Valerie, thank you for taking the time to address the commission. We appreciate that.
Our next public comment participant is James Gallant. Please allow us a moment to unmute you. Mr. Gallant, you are unmuted and you may proceed with your public comment. It appears Mr. Gallant may be experiencing technical difficulties. We will move on to our next participant and return to him later. Our next public comment participant is Razal Chowdhury. Please excuse me if I mispronounced your name. Please allow us a moment to unmute you.
Good evening.
Good evening, we can hear you.
Thank you. My name is Razal Chowdhury. I live in Hamtramck, which is connected with the Bangla town of Detroit. Hamtramck and Bangla town is heavily populated by Bangladeshi, Yemeni, Polish, Bosnian, African American, and many other ethnic groups. Hamtramck and Bangla town residents share many common things like culture, religion, language, businesses, schools, parks, stadium, many more. So we consider Hamtramck and Bangla town together as a community of interest. My proposed community of interest boundary will be McNichols in the north, Interstate 94 in south, Mount Elliott in east, and Interstate 75 in west. This community of interest should stay together no matter which district it falls. As a team member of a nonprofit, I work in this area and I feel strongly this community of interest is very important to stay together. So please don't split Hamtramck and Banglatown. Thank you for giving me the opportunity to talk to in front of this commission. Thank you again.
Thank you, Mr. Chowdhury, for coming to or for sharing your comments with the commission this evening.
Our next public comment participant is Danielle Stephen Atara. Please allow us a moment to unmute you.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Again, good evening, commissioners and staff. My name is Danielle Stephen Atara, and I'm speaking on behalf of Laminda A. Davis, the president of the Detroit Alumni Chapter of Delta Sigma Theta Sorority Incorporated, a national service organization founded in 1913. Our sorority is committed to ensuring that the African American community is equally and fairly represented as required under the Voting Rights Act of 1965. We are pleased that the citizens of the state of Michigan created this commission to complete the important work of redistricting without concern for partisan politics. In addition, we ask you to receive information with an open mind because this process is certain to introduce you to fresh perspectives on community concerns that you may not have been exposed to prior to becoming a commissioner. We thank you for being willing to consider these varying points of views and sensitivities. You will deliberate and begin to draw district lines based on the 2020 census data that is expected to be released in September. However, we ask that you keep in mind that during the census, there were significant challenges for the residents of the city of Detroit. We ask you to keep these challenges in mind as you complete the work that you were charged with doing by the Michigan Constitution. Maps for Detroit must be drawn fairly to ensure its constituents do not lose any representation at the congressional, state senate, state house, or county jurisdiction. Gentrification and poverty, conflicting challenges, and similar outcomes where often people are disenfranchised because they don't live in some of these highly organized communities. Prison gerrymandering, and in summary, we thank you for this opportunity to speak, but we ask that the city of Detroit remain cohesive as a majority-minority district. Thank you, and we'll submit our full comments to the portal.
Thank you, Mrs. Stephen Atara, for taking the time to address the commission.
Our next public comment participant is Douglas Helserman. Please allow us a moment to unmute you.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
I'm kind of the outlier here because I'm speaking from Livingston County. I actually was born in Detroit, but start my video. There we go. Can you see me now? There we go. Okay, but I'm speaking today on behalf of Livingston County. Give you a little different perspective. In the public hearings in Jackson, Lansing, and Flint, no one from these districts asked to be tied to Livingston County. We have, I don't think we'd want to be tied to Wayne or Oakland either, but I, for one, agree that Livingston County should be kept as a whole. Let us be in one congressional district and be as a whole part of one a state senate district as we are now. And as for the state house, I ask that you give us 2 dedicated representatives as it has been in recent years, because I believe it's 90,000 in each House district, and we have 190,000 residents. Most of the information that I've heard in calling for special communities of interest, if you think about it, communities of interest are in effect asking for gerrymandering. Against the stated reason for this change, it's against gerrymandering. I would say that the best way to deal with communities of interest is to use a set of communities, one for the state house that factors in those that favor the cities and suburban areas, and use another set of communities of interest for the state house, or for the state, one for the state Senate, one for the state house, which balances that out. And I appreciate your time. I appreciate your effort, and good luck.
Thank you, Douglas, for providing public comment to the commission.
At this time, we will now provide participants who experience technical difficulties, with another opportunity to provide public comment. We will start with Tanisha Brownell. Please allow us a moment to unmute you.
I'm having a little technical difficulties over here. I don't know if you guys can hear me.
Tanisha, we can hear you.
Okay, perfect. So I just wanted to say thank you all for putting this together. And I just ask that you guys consider, as everyone else has said, it's kind of redundant now at this late hour, that you consider our groups as a whole, just take into consideration, our certain key areas like a Southwest Detroit, our Rosedale and Grandmont communities, and things like that. I am very concerned because I went to another workshop on this, and one of the people on the panel seemed very interested in dividing Detroit, Pontiac, and it was another city I can't recall at this time. But I just ask that the panel keep it fair. And if you feel like it is not fair, or if your constituents are not listening to you, please reach out for community help. We have a ton of community groups that are here to assist. This work is not going to be easy, but I think that we can keep it fair and honest and as transparent as possible. And so that is it for me, guys. Good luck.
Tanisha, thank you for providing public comment to the commission.
Our next public comment participant is James Gallant. Please allow us a moment to unmute you. Mr. Gallant, you are unmuted and you may proceed with your public comment. It appears Mr. Gallant is still experiencing technical difficulties, and that concludes public comment.
Thank you, MDOS, for guiding us through our remote public comment. That was very helpful. Thank you to everyone that provided remote public comment. And to those of you that did not get a chance to address the commission this evening, please do visit our public comment tool at michigan.gov/MICRC. We have other public hearings coming up, and if they're convenient for you, please also attend those. And even though they may not be in your city, it's an opportunity for you to address the commission. At this time, if there are no objections, we will move on to our acknowledgements. Hearing no objections from the commission, I will hand the floor over to our General Counsel, Julian Pastula, who will come to us with acknowledgements for this evening.
Thank you so much, Madam Chair. This evening, the Commission would like to thank Voters Not Politicians, League of Women Voters, TCF Center, and its partners for their assistance in making tonight a success. In particular, the volunteers that staffed this event, and to all our attendees and public commenters, whether in person or remote. The commission appreciates your participation and looks forward to seeing your comments and proposed maps in the public comment portal available at www.michigan.gov/MICRC. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you, General Counsel. Again, it was my pleasure to be here in my hometown. Even though I get to live here every day, it was a special treat to have a hearing at TCF and at Fellowship Chapel. So thank you again, Detroit. And at this time, because there are no further items on the agenda and the commission has no further business, I will entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
It's always my buddies in the back. The motion is made by Commissioner Letts and second by Commissioner Witches. It's one voice now. It all sounds the same. The motion is made by Commissioner Witches and second by Commissioner Lett. Is there any discussion on the motion? Hearing none, all those in favor of adjournment, please raise your hand and say aye. Aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, raise your hand and say nay. The ayes have it. Motion carries. The meeting is adjourned at 8 p.m. Thank you, Detroit. Travel safe and be well.